Ever had a heated argument with a friend that you later deeply regretted? Perhaps, like me, you found yourself in a situation where words like wild beasts broke free from their cages, causing damage you never intended. Picture this: a schoolyard disagreement, two young souls clashing over trivial matters. A friend, a schoolmate, and I found ourselves at the heart of a raging storm. The argument spiraled, a tornado of harsh words and heated exchanges. I spat out venomous phrases, my tongue a whip, lashing out with a fury I didn't know I possessed. The aftermath was like the silence after a storm, deafening in its quietude. I stood there, my heart pounding, regret washing over me like a tidal wave. The words I'd unleashed, the foul language that had flown from my lips, they weren't me, or at least they weren't the me I wanted to be. After the fight, guilt took over, plaguing the protagonist for years to follow. Time passed, but the guilt from that argument never faded. The protagonist spent years replaying the incident, cringing at the memory of the harsh words he had used. The event was seared into his mind, a bitter reminder of a moment when he had lost control. It wasn't just the argument that haunted him. It was the fear of the impression he had left on his old mate. He worried that his former friend would remember him as a hothead, a person who used foul language when angry. He feared his old mate held on to an unfavorable image of him, tarnished by that one regrettable incident. The protagonist carried this guilt, this fear of judgment, for years. It was a heavy burden, a constant whisper of shame that never quite left him. His past seemed to lurk in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to resurface. Little did he know, a reunion was imminent. Years later, life orchestrated a surprising reunion. In an unexpected twist of fate, our protagonist found himself walking into a consultation room only to be greeted by the familiar face of his old schoolmate, now a doctor. The surprise was palpable, his past transgressions with this individual flashing before his eyes. He was now a patient, sitting across the man he once berated with foul language. The air was thick with anticipation as he prepared for the consultation. He felt a knot in his stomach, anxiety creeping in as he wondered whether the doctor would hold a grudge against him. He decided to confront this unease head-on. In a moment of vulnerability, he brought up their past, confessing about the argument that had marred their relationship all those years ago. He apologized, his voice shaky but sincere. To his utter surprise, the old friend had no recollection of the argument. This reunion brought forth an epiphany, a light bulb moment, if you will. The argument, the harsh words, they were all deeply chiseled in my memory because that wasn't me. I rarely lost my cool. But for my old mate, it was just another day. He didn't remember it because, well, he often treated people that way. It was his nature, not a personal attack on me. Over the years, he had changed, grown, matured. He wasn't that angry young man anymore. Now, he was a professional, exuding kindness and compassion. It was a stark contrast to the person I had once known. And here's the valuable lesson I learned. You cannot change anyone but yourself. It's them, not you. If someone's behavior upsets you, don't let it consume you. Pray for them, for their growth, but let them go. Don't allow their actions to tarnish your peace. The protagonist learned a valuable lesson. You cannot change anyone but yourself. It's them, not you. Don't waste time on those who upset you. Pray for them, but let them go.